Hi, let me begin by apologizing. In the last one there was a part where I got the fingerboard out of view there, so when I was doing some of the scale work in there. So sorry about that. A couple of things that I want to add just about that. A lot of times we use an alternate way of describing each degree of the scale instead of always using its letter name. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, whatever. We use a numbering system, and in that way the numbering system's common to all scales, so in a sense you're almost talking about 12 different scales at the same time. So the root is the first degree of the scale, the second, the D is the second degree, the third is the E, or third degree, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and we start over with the root, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the root. Okay, so a lot of times we'll just use the degree thing. And then it wouldn't matter if we were in A, G, or E flat, or whatever. The other thing is that a lot of times you can see the scale very clearly on one string. So I didn't really talk about that. I was talking about trying to move up and down a little bit and move across. But let's look at it on one string. We can really see the order of the intervals. Maybe first with just one finger. If there's C, we know it's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Put our more fingers on backwards. It's half, whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half. So I'm going to try to go up each string. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Now, just as I told you that I'd probably use the numbers, I started using the letter names. But either way, E, B, C, D, A, G, F, E, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, B, A, G, F, E, B, C, B, G, A, B, C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you get the idea. But that's a good way to see them visually. You can really see the intervals well that way. Now on to looking at the thirds, which is what I said we were going to do this week. So you can stack intervals of the third on top of each other out of the C scale, and for this right now we're going to stick with, when I say scale, it'll be the C scale or the major scale. Doesn't really matter what key we're in, but for now we're just going to be in C. So we'll stack thirds. Okay, so you play the C, skip the second, and play the third, the E. So we have C and E. Now, our ears tell us that's major, okay, because as opposed to minor. We could play it on one string, C, skip the D, play the E. We see that that's two whole steps. Intellectually, we know that that is major as opposed to minor. Okay, so the first degree of the scale, C, is major. Let's do the same thing on the second. Play the D, skip the E, and play the F. D and F, that's minor, okay, not major. If it was two major, we had two majors in a row, it'd sound like that, but it doesn't. Okay, going on, 3 is E, play the E, skip the F, and play the G. So we have minor. Let's go on, half step to 4, play the F, skip the G, okay, and now we play the A. Now slowly, let's review what we have. Major on 1, minor on 2, minor on 3, major on 4, backwards. 4 major, 3 minor, 2 minor, 1 major. Now we left off on 4. Let's switch over to the F here. Let's go up to the 5th. G. Play the G, skip the A, and play the B. So G is major, not minor, major. Okay, let's go up to the A. Play the A, or the 6th degree of the scale, La, skip the B, play the C, and we have a minor. And let's go to B, skip the C, and play the D. So B and D, we see that's minor, and now we're back to the beginning. Play the C, skip the D, and play the E. Okay, so we have going backwards very slowly. 1 is a major, 7 is a minor, 6 or A is a minor, the 5th or G is a major, 4 or F is major, E, the 3rd is minor, 2 or D is minor. Let's just keep going down, see if we can do that. D, minor, we know the 7th is minor, switch over to the 6th, the A, we know it's minor, coming into the 5th, we know is major, and going into the 4th, and now we're out of the room. That's a good exercise. Go from as low as to high, and from high back to low. Let's try that real quickly. Here's C. 1 is major, 7 is minor, 6 is minor, 5 is major, 4 is major, 3 is major, 2 is major. Now I'm going to run out of room. E or C is major, B or 7 is minor, 6, La, A is minor, G, 5 is major, 4 is F is major, 3 is E is minor, 2 is D is minor, 1 is C is major, 7 is minor is B, A is minor, 6 major on 5, major on 4. Okay, so going up and down is a good exercise. You can go down, say, to the middle of the neck, and then see if you can transfer over to the next set of strings. Go down arbitrarily, see if you can transfer to the next, and so on. The idea is to get so familiar with it that you don't get locked. Now let's look at it one other way, from the perspective of how many majors and how many minors are there. Okay, we know there's a major on 1, we know there's a major on 4, F, and we know there's a major on 5. So the 1, the 4, and the 5 are major triads. Now let's look at the 2. That's a minor. The 3 is a minor. We know 4 and 5 are major. So 6 and 7. So we have 4 minors on 2 and 3 and 6 and 7. That gives us the 7 degrees. 3 majors, 4 minors. 1, 4, 5 are majors. 2, 3, 6, and 7. Now we played them on adjacent strings so we could play them harmonically. You can also mess around with them on the same string, C to E. F, I'm going to run out of room, G, A, B, but now I'm seeing the 3rd in terms of a 4-stretch fret or a 3-fret stretch. There's not a stretch on the 3s, on the 4. Major, major, minor, 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 major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, major, excuse me, on the 4, 3 is minor, and I'm out of room. So you can look at them on the same string. The idea is to get as familiar with them as you can in every conceivable way, and it comes quicker than you might think, the remembering them, because you remember that 1, 4, and 5 are major, and 2, and 3, and 6, and 7 are minor. Okay, we'll come back the next time and add the 5th and fill out the full triad.